On that note, I think she's excited for this video. I'm Jen and this is Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today we're going to be making Cadbury cream egg cupcakes. So let's get started. To make the Cadbury cream egg cupcakes, we're going to be using chocolate cake batter. Now you can use a box mix if you prefer, or we'll put a link to our chocolate cake in the description box below. And then for the icing, we're going to be using 3/4 of a cup of butter at room temperature, 3 cups of icing sugar, between 1 and 2 tablespoons of milk, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a teaspoon of almond extract, a pinch of salt, and yellow Americolor gel paste just for a little bit of color. And we're going to be using the Cadbury cream eggs. Now, depending on how many cupcakes you make, you're going to need 2 per cupcake, and obviously you'll have to take the wrappers off. And for the cupcake portion, you'll want to have 1 per cupcake frozen. So I have my chocolate cake batter here, and I'm just going to fill each of my liners about 2/3 of the way up. This cake batter really rises, so I'm just putting a little bit less in than I normally would with a different one. And if you're using like a box mix from scratch, those rise a lot too, so just be careful with how much you put in. Now, when they're all filled up, I'm going to put them without the Cadbury cream eggs into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. Then I'm going to pull them out, and really quickly, I'm going to put into the center of each one a frozen Cadbury cream egg. Now, the reason they're frozen is because it helps them to stay together. And if you put them in too soon, or you put them in without freezing them, what's going to happen is the chocolate kind of stays intact, but the cream in the center just falls out and it kind of goes to the bottom of the cupcake, which is fine because you still get a cool taste, but you're not going to get that same surprise inside. So you're going to put them in at the 15-minute mark and then put the cupcakes back in the oven for 5 more minutes. So that's a total of 20 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So when the cupcakes have finished baking, they will look somewhat like this. And you want to make sure that before you use them, you let them cool completely. And because of that Cadbury cream egg in the middle, it might take a little bit longer than normal. While they're cooling, I'm going to put together the buttercream. So we're going to start on the buttercream next. Now, if you prefer, you can use just a regular vanilla buttercream, but this one I find tastes really similar to the actual cream filling in the Cadbury egg, which obviously going with the chocolate cupcake, it's going to be the perfect accompaniment. So we're starting with the butter in the stand mixer, and I'm just going to cream it briefly. So now that the butter is creamed, I'm going to put in about half of my icing sugar. And I'm going to put the mixer on to low, and I'm going to add the extracts to it while it's mixing. So it's been mixing for a little bit, and I'm just going to put it back on to low, and I'm going to add about half of the milk. So once the first half of the milk is mixed in, I'm going to put in my salt and the rest of the icing sugar. And then I'm going to use the rest of the milk as whether I want it to be a little bit on the thick side, which makes piping a little bit more difficult, or a little bit on the thin side, which makes it a little bit more easy. So I'm going to do that and then just slowly add the milk. Now that you have the buttercream finished, what you need to do is take out about half a cup of it, and we're going to color that portion with a little bit of the yellow gel paste. So this is going to be like the yolk in the center of the Cadbury cream egg. So I'm just going to mix that up, and then I'm going to put them both in 2 piping bags, and hopefully the cupcakes have cooled and will be ready to decorate. So I have my white buttercream in an open, just round tip, and it's a Wilton 1A. And I also have my yellow buttercream in a round open tip, and it's Wilton 2A. And I'm just going to start with my white. And I'm going to pipe around the Cadbury cream egg in the center there and make it nice and poofy there. And then I'm just going to put a little dab of it in the center. And then on top of that, we'll go one of our Cadbury cream eggs. So I'm going to do a couple more, and I'll be back to show you all of them finished. So there you go, everybody, how to make homemade Cadbury cream egg cupcakes. You can see in the one here in the center that we sliced it in half, and you can see the surprise inside with the mini Cadbury cream egg. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you liked what you saw, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all of our future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.